So this video is created for BLOX users and it will show you how to create your own logos. Now if you're logged into BLOX at the moment, first step is to brand the whole system. And we can do that by naming the product here, so naming the whole system, and here we need to add our logos. Now as we were creating BLOX, we realized that lots of people wouldn't know how to do this. And as I mentioned inside of the members area, you don't actually have to do it if you don't want to. You can skip this step, but it is, or at least we think, that adding your own branding to the system makes the system unique to you. It gives you more potential to make money because you're not competing. So in this video, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to go over how to create your own logos. So before we start, remember, or you should know, that the logos need to be 250 pixel wide by 100 pixel high. They also need to be PNGs. That means they need to have a transparent background. So again, PNGs, so it has a transparent background, 250 wide by 100 high. So number one, before I show you how to actually do it yourself, I should also mention Fiverr, fiverr.com. Put logo design in there and you can get yourself a logo for say $5 if you want to skip the whole creation process. So $5, there's loads of them here, and that's just another option. So if you want to skip any of the work, get somebody else to do it for $5. Now if you have a Canva account, I know lots of people do, then obviously you can make your logos on Canva, and they have lots and lots of templates that you can use straight away. There's also lots of logo creation, logo maker sites online, like this one for example. This one is available at the time of making this video. Obviously they change all the time, but this one is called Looker, I think it's pronounced. So looker.com, logo maker. Many of them are pitched as being free. They're not actually free. What they'll do is they'll allow you to create your logo and then you'll have to pay for it. They're pretty cheap, but you can do this stuff yourself for nothing. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the software that I use is a free software. It's called GIMP. So this one here, it's essentially an open source version or very similar software to Photoshop. Now I started using GIMP back in the day when I didn't have any extra money. I couldn't afford Photoshop. So I downloaded GIMP, I learned to use it, and I've continued to use it ever since. Lots of people say it's as good as Photoshop. I couldn't tell you whether it is or whether it isn't because I learned to use GIMP back in the day and I never bothered getting Photoshop. So it's totally free, it's totally safe. So if you don't have Photoshop, then get GIMP. If you do have Photoshop, then obviously use Photoshop. Anyway, go to gimp.org and then download the tool. So you can click here and download GIMP to your computer. And then once you've downloaded it, then you can use it to create logos, which I'll show you now. So number one, as soon as you've downloaded GIMP, if you don't already have it, then open it up. And if you've just downloaded a version of GIMP, you'll probably see that I'm using an older version, but it's essentially the same. So what you need to do is click File, and then click New. And then we need to create it 250 wide, so 250 by 100. Okay, so that's your canvas. So you need to fit your logo inside of this canvas. So let me just go over the different bits and pieces here, just in case you're unfamiliar with GIMP. This is your toolbox, all of your tools there on the left, and recent images that you've created on the far left. So tools there, toolbox, tool options down here. I'll explain this as we go through, and layers. So you'll understand layers as I go through this, but we're going to keep this very, very simple anyway, so I'm not going to get technical with you. All we're going to do is we're going to use some text. We're going to put an icon in there. You can just do this with text if you want to. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So first of all, let me grab an icon. So I'm just going to grab an icon from my desktop. So let's choose this one here. So I just drag that one up. And you can see as I drag it and drop it onto the canvas, it's added here as a layer. So we have the background, which is the white part, and then we have the image added as a layer. So we've dropped this image onto the background and it appears there as a layer. So this is a separate layer. So then what we need to do is, obviously this is too big, so the image that I've just dropped on there is much too big for the canvas. So all we need to do is click on layer. So here, click there, and then come down to where it says scale layer. Now you can see that the layer size, or the image size, is currently 5000 by 5000, much too big. Much too big because the canvas is only 250 wide by 100 high. So we need to reduce this right down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it down by height, and I'm just going to reduce it to 90. If I do that there, click up there, so you can see it's 90 by 90, and then let's pull this down so you can see. Then I click scale. So you can see I have an image which fits inside of the canvas. So make sure you've got this selected here, and this will allow you to move the image around the canvas. So to do that, all you need to do is click on the image and drag it to where you want it. Okay, so that's step one. And then step two is to put some text in here. So we're going to keep it really, really simple. There's no need to get fancy with this. All you need to do is over on the toolbar, click the text icon, so the text tool, and then the tool options opens and it's set to text. So we select the text that we want to use. Let's drag this up here so you can see it better. I'm going to select this one here, and then hinting, we're going to select none. Color, we'll set that to grey. And then here we'll just say logo. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to make the logo or the text larger. So we can either do that up here or we can do it down here. So let's make this field a little bit bigger. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all we're going to do. What I'm going to do is just grab that like that. Now we can get fancy with stuff. If we wanted to change the color of that, then just highlight it and, you know, select a different color if you want to. Or if you wanted to change one part of it, for example. So let's say that we wanted to change these two letters, then we would do that up here. So not down here, not in the tool options box. We'd need to do it here. So we could just, if we wanted to keep that or have those two letters the same as the logo, for example, we just drag the color picker over, pick the color of the logo, click OK, and you can see it's changed those two letters, and that's it. Okay, so you can mess about with this. You can change the color of everything. I mean, if you wanted to change the color of the shape, the image that you dropped on there, what you can do is you just click on the layer and then click on colors and colorize. So you can adjust the color like so, lightness, etc., saturation, but I'll just leave it as that for now. Now the last step is to get rid of the background. Okay, so all we do is right click on the background and then delete the layer. Remember, we want these as PNGs, so we want no background. So this essentially would be a logo for a white background, because obviously this letter in here is dark. So this would stand out on a white background. So what we do is we click File and then Save As. So we'll call this one Logo for Lights. Click Save. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the layer where the text is. And then we're going to highlight the two dark letters. So we're going to leave the red ones, just going to highlight the dark ones because these are not going to stand out on a dark background. So we highlight those two, click there, and we're just going to turn those to white. Click OK. And now we have something that will stand out on a dark background as well. Remember, we need two logos. So we've already done the logo for the light background. This would be the logo for the dark background. So we click Save As. So this time we're just going to change light to dark. And click Save. Now what we've done there is we've saved them as GIMP files. So this is very similar to saving as a PSD. But obviously we can't use a PSD or a GIMP file inside of BLOX. We need a finished PNG. So a PNG without a background. So now all I need to do is click File again and then come down to where it says Export As. So we click Export As and you can see it comes up here. So this one is logo for dark and you can see PNG. So if it comes up with JPG, you need to change that to PNG and then click Export. And then what we'll do is we'll open this one. Let's just drag this one over so you can see it. So remember, this was the logo, exactly the same logo, but this one is for the light background. So then we just click File on this one as well, and then Export As, and then logo for light, PNG. Remember, it's always PNG, and remember, you always need to get rid of the background first. Then we click Export. And that's it. So now you have both of your logos. So essentially they're exactly the same apart from the coloring. Make sure to set your canvas before you start at 250 by 100. But if you don't have an icon to use, like I've done here, and I'll show you where to get some if you're interested, but if you don't have an icon, just do it with text. So just, put some nice font in there. Maybe change the color of a couple of letters. That's all you really need. It doesn't need to be that fancy. So if you do want to get yourself a collection of icons, graphics to use in your logos, elements, that kind of thing, the place that I go to get mine is Graphic River. Now this is part of Envato Market. So Graphic River, it's graphicriver.net, and then I go to graphics, and then let's click on icons or logos. Doesn't really make any difference. I mean, you're not actually looking for logos as such. What you're looking for are vector shapes, this kind of thing, I mean, if I just click on this one, you can see this would cost $7. Okay, and they include transparent PNGs. So we could buy these, or buy this collection for $7, and then we can use each one of these as a different logo. So we can use these on all of our logos. So we can pick any of these, we can change the color of them, and then use them with our logos for our block system. So again, you don't have to use icons, but if you're interested, Graphic River is the place to go. You can get a ton of different icons for next to nothing. You know, you can see here $7. You can download them. Each one of these will be supplied individually, so they won't come on one sheet like this. They should come individually, so you can use each one, or you can choose whichever one you want to use. And they have the transparent PNG there included. So this is perfect, this is great, this is something that we can use if we want to. So hopefully you found this this video helpful to a certain degree. I know if you've never used a graphic software before, then it can seem quite complicated, but it's actually not. Remember, set your canvas size first, drop your element in there, so you know, just open up your files. So drop the image in, or the element that you want to use as your icon if you're going to use one. So just click on it, drag it onto the canvas, put some text in there, and then get rid of the background. And then remember to save one as light, one as dark, and then export both of them as PNGs.